if you want the manager to be in charge of the committees, then that's a policy decision that you can make tonight. And I will do the best I can to make that work and tell you how I'm going to try to make that work. You can then look at that and say that works for you or it doesn't, and go from there. I'm just telling you that it is not, it is, I may be wrong on this, because I don't have anyone that I can go to and say, how did it work for you, and what was the outcome, and what steps did you take? But, you know, from my review of it, it's not as easy as just making that policy decision and then walking away. There's going to be differences in how things are going to be run. I can tell you that right now. And yes, it is going to require my time and effort to do that. And yes, some of it can be passed on to other people, but the other people that are going to end up taking a heavier load are the department chairs. Well, the committee chairs, because what it suggests is that they're going to have to attend more meetings with me, whether that's in the day, at night, at their schedule, then that's going to be part of that, because it's managing more people directly. So recognize that and what I'm asking you to do.
And what's the alternative?
The alternative is we continue moving as we are, and the council takes more active steps in control of their committees.
Do you see that the way the committees are running now as ideal?
No.
Do you think there are problems?
Well, yes. It's not ideal. There are problems.
Well, then we obviously have to do something. The question is,
well, I just want to make sure that we're clear as to what the step is, because obviously we're working on different understandings of what was happening, so that we're clear as to what will happen.
Well, I think if you come up with what you suggesting that you would like to see happen, if you had to be in charge of the committee, bring it back to us. If you want to do it in a workshop, in formal time, you know, I'll make time in my schedule for that to happen for you at your convenience when you get ready, because I know there are other things that you're doing. And then at that time, or let us talk and decide if we don't like that and we want to take a more active role, then we can suggest that. We may love what you do and just bless it.
We also have to realize that without just adding another major thing to this year, and you know, we're just building that list longer and longer and longer, and we're going to fight this and fight that.
this was something that I asked to be addressed last year and it wasn't addressed.
Right, and I agree. But as I'm just saying, we have to realize that the list gets longer. Every discussion we've had tonight, the list has got longer. And we just got to realize it, make sure that we realize it.
Well, I think until things become ideal that we need to be doing more. But it may not be that Michael has to personally do it. It could be that they'll assign some of the council members projects to work on for problem areas. It may be that we can have another council member work with a certain committee and that has been identified as needing more help.
I'd be happy to volunteer to do that.
I agree with what the mayor said about we just add more stuff to the town manager. He presented us a list, I think 40 items on it. We prioritize some of it, and if he's going to be doing this, I can see he probably needs a little help on it, because he's got a lot to do. We got this ball field, athletic field that is going to get into full swing pretty soon, and it's going to require a lot of time. So I feel like just adding more and more to it is going to slow the process down. And this is something that we really need to get going at this athletic field. You go up here to the school and you see holes dug all in the ball field now where they're trying to get a septic field. I understand there's gonna be classrooms where the girls' ball field is. They're gonna lose their field totally next year. So we really need to get to work on that athletic field, and that's gonna require a lot of time from the manager.
The athletic field should be delegated to the Parks and Rec supervisor, and if the town planner position had been filled, we wouldn't be in this position.
As I said, it's gonna require a lot of work from the manager until he delegates it to somebody else. And I'm sure when he sees the appropriate time, he will delegate it. But until then, I think he will keep control of it until he sees the time is right. I got all the confidence in the world in our town manager. We're very fortunate to have him as a town manager. And, matter of fact, I got a letter here from a citizen of the town, praising our
Point
town
of order,
manager.
point of order.
So, I got all the trust in the world in our town manager. And when he tells us what he feels like needs to be done, I think council needs to listen to it and do it.
Well, do we want to ask Michael to go ahead and make a presentation or do us a letter or whatever on these calls? On committees or?
Yes, I think that'd be a good idea, and then we can go from there. We can either say this is good, this is not good, change it around, or come to some kind of a meeting of the minds on how we think the authority should be. Since we're asking him to do it, he ought to have some input into it, so he should come up with a policy that he thinks is equitable, doable, and that will solve some of the problems we're having with some of these committees. And then we can discuss it at a workshop. And we'll, instead of spending all this time at a town council meeting, we can have an afternoon workshop for 2-3 hours and hash it out then.
Yeah. And I agree, that's good. I don't have any problem with it. You know, we took his time. We just got to realize, another week of his time, get prepared for it, and then go into meeting, as long as we realize that. Are in agreement to have Michael come up with his suggestions? Yes. Perhaps do a workshop on this at some point. Well, you know. Okay, so council had any meetings or activities? Business from the manager.
First item of business is the approval of the audit contract. This is the state audit contract. That's to be approved on a yearly basis. We do recommend that we stay with our auditor, Rouse, Penn and Rouse. The fee for the year is $1,900, $1,906 for the preparation of financial statements. However, if the town of Summerfield prepares a financial statement, which is essentially Dana Luther's role, then that fee would be discounted by $1,000.
Does Dana typically do that?
She did it this past year. I expect her to do it this year.
How long does it take to do it?
Offhand, I don't know.
Not